Hello friends, it's TechManPat here, and it's time we have a chat about 3 little letters that have a massive effect on the price and speed of your NBN. And no, it's not just the terrible copper network that was repurposed by the NBN. We're going to talk about the CVC. It stands for Connectivity Virtual Circuit Charge, and it was put in place by NBN Co. It's part of the wholesale price NBN charges retail internet service providers like Aussie Broadband and Lintel to get customers like you onto the network. Since the launch, NBN Co has changed how CVC pricing is done, and it has had a pretty big effect on your NBN speeds. So what is a CVC and how does it actually affect your speeds? Well, a CVC is a virtual charge, so it's not actually based on infrastructure like meters of fiber optic cable or copper wire. Instead, it's a cost the ISPs pay to cover the bandwidth they make available to customers accessing the NBN. More CVC, more bandwidth for end users getting on the internet. More bandwidth, fewer bottlenecks, pretty simple. And the reason why plans today have a caveat, where it tells you the typical evening speeds for that specific plan. If it's 100 megabits, then you might get 94 or 87, whatever they feel like putting on there below, so they kind of cover their bases. That's why the capacity ISPs pay for can have a massive impact on the speeds you get when you access the NBN. You may have watched an interview with the CEO of Lintel ISP. He mentioned that the other part of the cost of an NBN connection is an AVC, which is an access virtual circuit. Now, the AVC is a fixed cost of your individual connection to the network, while a CVC is part of the ISP's overall capacity cost, where it goes up or down on a sliding scale. Think of AVC as your little internet car and a CVC as a highway on-ramp. In fact, NBN did a video about this a little while back, and I'll link that just here. You can see it going around. The highway might have a highway speed limit, letting you and many others zoom up to 100 megabits per second once your internet cars hit the fast lane. If your ISP only buys access to one on-ramp with hundreds of customers, things might be fine for much of the day when there's not many people on the road, but you're going to hit a massive bottleneck when everybody gets home and it's peak hour, basically in the evening when you want to stream some Netflix after work. Now, ISPs are essentially all buying the same wholesale broadband product from NBN, so this on-ramp capacity is often what sets different ISPs apart. And this is where many Australians have had problems. If an ISP is being stingy with how much CVC they are paying for, you will find that the advertised blazing fast NBN, well, is blazingly inadequate every evening when trying to watch Netflix. The big problem is that first of all, people don't really know what the CVC is and why it is such a big part of choosing the right NBN provider. But also the big players don't want to share that information. So smaller providers differentiate themselves by showing the statistics. So I want to share with you 2 smaller NBN providers comparably to TPG and INET and Vodafone, who do not share their CVC counts. Now, Lintel, who are an East Coast based mob, have a live graph, as you can see. We spoke to their CEO Damien. You can watch that interview here if you are interested. I'll link that below. Also, Aussie Broadband publishes their daily graphs. They're not live, but a daily account of what the CVC looks like is still better than nothing. As you can see, the line up top basically states how much they've purchased and how much the usage goes up and down throughout the day. As long as all their customers are even logged in at once and it doesn't go above that line, there will be no bottlenecks. Now imagine if you've got more and more customers, you get to buy more and more of this, and that curve might not be changing much. It'll still be very much busy on that end scale around the 6 p.m. evening time, and therefore you still got to buy more even though throughout the day you're not really using that much. So from June 1st this year, NBN changed the way it charges ISPs to access its network, providing discounts to specific ISPs based on how much capacity they buy and how much customers they have, rather than using industry-wide averages. The idea is that resellers get rewarded with deeper discounts the more capacity they buy, opening up higher speed tiers and providing a better NBN experience for all. However, the problem is the only people that are going to benefit are those big ISPs, because the smaller ones are actually keeping an eye on it already and don't necessarily require it and might not have as many users to get those deep discounts that NBN Co talks about. And NBN Co has always said they're all about bringing more competition and more potential for smaller businesses, ISPs, to actually get in on the market. Well, in late October, Bill Morrow told a Senate estimate that this wholesale pricing was under review, though it could take 2 years for new pricing to hit the market. That means ISPs could get a new incentive to offer customers the bandwidth they need for both now and in the future. After all, we paid for the NBN with our tax. We should be able to get the most out of it that we can and not be held back by greedy ISPs. So, guys, what do you think of CVCs? Is this still a problem? Is there a way to fix something that is supposed to be making money for NBN Co, this product, this wholesale product? Let me know in the comments what you think about it, and I'll chat with you there. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in another one. Bye!